Hey guys, Creator Mom. So I'm going to make these videos because they're going to help me process. It's funny, I don't feel like journaling lately. I feel like talking. So about this new contracted, work, you could say. So I think it's, okay, so Monday, I remember because I went back in my messages and I told my friend, I feel inept. I feel inept. I thought the feeling was coming from me. Actually, I just looked up this morning, kind of like what is a red flag to kind of realize you're around a narcissistic person. The first thing that came up was feeling inadequate. What does inadequate mean? Inept. Feeling inadequate, inferior, feeling not good enough. Like you're not doing good enough. Okay? I'm like, wow. That's what you will feel. So take note. If you feel like that around in a job or around a certain person, take note. Don't self-blame, because I thought that's what I went straight to, self-blame. Like, and I'm not, and I went to thinking I'm just weak, right? That's what they like, though. They like when people turn to self-blame, of course, because then the person could get more mastery and manipulation over you. If you're gonna self-blame, they're gonna think, oh, it's all my fault. Like, I'm just so weak. I'm inadequate. And the reason I feel this way is my fault too. It must be true. If I feel inadequate, it must be true. I'm not gonna, I don't want to be like, hey, this person is making me feel this way, right? We want to it's like we're all about taking that self-responsibility for how we feel. But how about self-responsibility in this way? Say, wow, it's just like, I notice when I'm around this person, I feel really bad. I don't feel good. I feel terrible. I feel like I'm awful, and I'm doing a really bad job, and then when you take stock of what you think about what you're doing, but you're like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. But that person is blowing up at you, blowing up. And you're like, whoa, especially if this is like a new boss or something like that. You're like, holy shit. This is why I think that it's easy to have narcissism in the workplace. It's easy to have toxic workplaces because work is centered around productivity, right? Work is centered around doing a good job at whatever you're doing, which innately for me, I want to do a good job. I want to be productive. Like, hell yeah. Like, I want to get the leads. Like, I'm all about it. I'm not a lazy fuck just trying to work from home so I could fucking steal somebody's money and do nothing. But this is how they'll make it seem. You'll be like, God damn, I guess I'm just a lazy fuck, right? I guess I'm just out here wasting fucking donor dollars. This guy was so successful at making me feel like a piece of shit in 1 to 2 days. Maybe before that, and I wasn't picking up on it. He was so successful that I felt yesterday you know what? And he made me feel worthless. What the work that I had done was worthless because I hadn't gotten any leads. I just started, first of all, and the leads aren't 100% in my control. You know what I'm saying? When you're working with other people, you're not in control. Sure, you're under great influence, but at the end of the day, the person on the other end of the line has to say. That was a rhyme. That was for you, Karen. Plugging in my coffee machine. So, you're not in total control. Sure, you can do the best you can, of course. But still, the person on the other line, their response is not under your control. But sometimes some people make you feel like it's all your fault. You know, what could you do better? It's always like, what could you do better? What could you do better? I don't fucking know. Like I said, the script I was supposed to say, you know what I mean? Like I feel like to the best of my ability. So you just try to make some things up and self-critique about maybe how you could do better just to please them, you know what I mean? Like, oh God, you know, God forbid I don't come up with something that I could do better the next time. Turns out, yeah, he made me feel so worthless that I swear to God, yesterday during our meeting, when he was like, so how many hours did you work last week? I was like, dude, I didn't say dude, but I was like, I mean, literally, how many hours do you want to say that I worked? Like, what do you want to pay me? Okay. Like, I was just at the point where I was like, pay me whatever you want to pay me. Or matter of fact, keep your money and fucking shove it. Consider it free. I got one lead. Take it, buddy. Take it for free. Have fun with it. That's kind of like what I felt like saying. Like, I even was like, whoa, I mean, you don't even have to pay me. He made me feel so worthless that I was like, you don't even have to pay me. Don't worry about it. Hey, if you're strapped, if the CEO donors got you strapped, like, don't worry about it, you know? He's like, that's it. I'm not doing it. I'm not wasting CEO dollars. Like just making all these hand movements at me, like karate chopping, like movements. He's like, that's it. We can just cut off this contract right now. If you're not on board, I wasn't even doing anything. Like I was like, I felt like all of this was just happening to me. I'm like, what the fuck? You would think that I was doing the worst thing ever to this guy. Like, you would think that I was working with him for like 5 months and I hadn't even got one booking or something like that. Like, that is how intense he was acting. And so yeah, I Googled this morning. How do you feel generally if you're around a narcissistic person? Yeah, I said not good enough, and like you're fucking inept. I'm like you're incapable. I was like, damn, that's exactly how I feel around this guy. He's not. You completely devalued. Not once did he say, you know what? You know, I have to, obviously there's a learning curve. There's a learning curve. So I have to accept that some of these donor dollars are going to be used as an investment in your learning curve. Like it's going to be like an investment maybe initially. Maybe you're not going to be getting one lead an hour or one lead out of every 10 phone calls you make. This is a learning curve, you know, and I understand that I'm investing in that. No, not at all. I mean, I felt like saying, hey buddy, why don't you try talking to some of the people you interview like this? Why don't you try talking to some CEOs the way you're talking to me? Because I doubt he talks to other people like that. Or maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe he does. Who knows? Oh, sorry. So then I'm reading my contract. The contract literally says that this company that I'm contracted with is not supposed to control or have basically any say in how I do my job. So I don't know if I'm reading it correctly. So I wrote him an email, about this clause in our contract. So it says that basically, the contractor shall exercise its independent professional judgment, and blah 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 shall have that company shall neither have the right to nor shall it exercise any direction or control over the manner in which contractor performs its services. And he wants to have all these meetings about critiquing me and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know. This sounds like it's going against that clause in the contract. And so I mentioned to him in an email, and I said, I wrote a professional email, and in layman's terms or whatever, in street terms, basically, the gist was you're grilling me, and I, according to this, you know, this line in the contract, you're not supposed to be doing that. And not only that, you're berating me, and you're berating me about donor dollars. I didn't sign up to be psychologically abused at a job. It's like he wants, it's hard because it's like he wants this contracted thing, but it's treating me like an employee. But you shouldn't even treat employees like that. Holy shit. He wanted to make me cry because that was his supply. He wanted to make me cry because that was his supply. And a part of me, so I wrote this letter, but a part of me's like, so what if he says, oh, okay, yeah, we won't do that anymore. Like maybe we'll just have meetings and just discuss, how many calls you made and where did you get any leads. But even then, and then in the letter, I wrote, not only does the meetings have to be more appropriate in that way, but I'm not going to do the meetings unless there's professional, respectful boundaries. I put like a psychologically healthy, professional business relationship, business partnership, like not this shit. Like this dude thinks, you ever work with somebody who thinks like he's talking to like his wife or family members? It's like, yo, you relaxed. Like he's relaxed, you know, talking to me like that. I couldn't imagine talking to somebody the way that he was talking. But this is how these people talk. I don't know if he's a narcissist. I guess I'm thinking he may be, but and people say, well, like I feel like people like blame, be like, oh, that's what you're looking for, that, because I've been thinking a lot about patterns. Because I'm like, I'm trying to get away from this pattern. It's like even if he responds and says, okay, I won't do that anymore or something like that, I don't even think that like I trust that, because this is what he does to people who work for him. Because I was warned by this other girl that I work with. I was warned. He does this so much that I was warned about this, but I didn't think it was gonna be that bad. Like I thought, well, yeah, I've had some difficult, bosses, but they were kind of sweet at the end of the day or whatever. But I cried. Yesterday I cried, and now I have to make a decision. Maybe this is how the pattern stops, because I'm like, how do I stop getting involved in these patterns that look like the pattern of this person that I'm trying to get away from, that I grew up with, that I'm trying to move away from that shit. I'm trying to move away from psychologically harmful people and turning the corner, beep boop, beep boop, right into it. So maybe it stops by me saying, oh wow, look at it right there. Okay, the buck stops here. Pop, ka-ching, like he was always threatening me. Like we're on this contract. And I wasn't even doing anything to him. But it's just like, all right, well, let's end it then. Because I don't want to work with psychologically harmful people. Like, sure, people aren't perfect. But this is why narcissism gets it goes uncovered or whatever in the workplace because people think they're supposed to feel like that. They think it's okay for other people to make them feel not good enough because, hey, after all, you got to be good enough in the workplace. You got to be productive, right? So it's your fault. You're not productive enough. So all this abusive behavior can go, you know, can go on and on. We shouldn't have to feel like that. People can talk professionally, respectfully, and understandably. This guy liked what he was doing. He knew what he was doing because he did it before. And when I broke, he liked that. So I guess I have no other choice now that I'm aware to be like, goodbye. Goodbye.